Okay, good morning. Any questions? Last time we discussed the convolution. Any questions for me? So everything is good? Any questions on the homework? Okay, that's nice. Today we are going to discuss discrete time signals and discrete time systems. Right? It is very similar to the what we discussed before, continuous time signals and continuous time systems, and also properties. They almost the same, so we are going to be going a little bit faster, but there are some like a little different. So yes. Okay, first one we discuss first concept is called sequence. The sequence is written as usually represented by X, and it will be a collection of data. So usually it's represented by X square parenthesis N. Compared to continuous time we use X parenthesis T. So this is we use N instead of T. We use a square instead of a parenthesis. And this here, and N is from negative infinity to positive infinity. Can be defined anywhere between infinities. Right? One example is Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci sequence. Anyone knows that? Very famous. Right? What's the first number? 1. What's the second one? 1. Okay, what's next? Fibonacci sequence? No one knows this?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Don't have the whole thing memorized.
The first one is 1, for sure. Second one is 1, also definition. Then the next one, all the following numbers will be the sum of the previous 2.
Oh, yeah.
So this one equals 2, right? The next one will be 3, next one will be 5, and 8, and 13, and 21, and so on. So these are sequence. Right? The next one is sampled data. The signals in real life usually are continuous. Our voice, the music, usually the data are continuous. But when we process with the computers, we need to use digital data, or before that, it's discrete time data. So for example, if we have a continuous signal like this, before we store this one on tapes like music, right? But now we are going to use a AD conversion. AD conversion is analog to digital conversion. First step is before AD, we first need to do the sampling. That means I only pick time at the discrete time steps. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and 5, and 6, and so on. Only sample the data at some discrete times. Right? So this one here equals 0, this one will be this one here will be this one here this one here this, here, 6 here, and maybe next one like this. So I only choose the data, this. So this is called sample data. And this also discrete time. And because of the time, look at the time is not continuous. The amplitude can be continuous. For example, this value, they can be any real numbers. Right? Next one, we discuss basic sequence. So maybe better for me to erase everything here. Right? The first one is the basic sequence. In continuous time, we discuss basic signals. All right, now basic sequence. Which one is the first one? What we discussed the first one? Very important. First one, the impulse. Impulse usually is called impulse, or sometimes called we call unit sample. The definition for this is delta n equals 1 or 0. When n equal to 0 equals 1. When n is not equal to 0, it's always equal to 0. If we plot this just like that, this is 0, then this is 1 here. And this is the amplitude. This is the time times n here. We want to draw like this. So we want to draw a circle. So that means this is 1. So you can see compared to continuous time the amplitude equals infinity. But the integration around 1 equals 1. But here it directly just equals 1. Right? It's not infinity anymore. That's the first one. Second one is a unit step. Unit step, again, UN equals, in continuous, the definition is when t is greater than 0, so here is when n greater than or equal to 0, that equals 1. When n less than 0, that equals 0. Again, it's very similar to continuous time. In continuous time, this t greater than 0 equals 1, less than 0 equals 0. But this one, the n is discrete. N can be only -1, -2, or -3 outside, because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Only integers. What's the relationship between these two sequences? What is the relationship between these two in time though? In continuous time? The continuous time, this one, impulse t related to the ut by what? Differentiation, right? So the differentiation of this one with respect to t equals this one, right? And this one, do the integration, we get this ut. So that is the differentiation and the integral. Here, almost same thing, but we don't have the concept of a differentiation and integration. Instead, we have a difference and accumulation or something, or summation. So what delta n equals related to un? Look at this. What is un? Let's draw un. Un is this one here, this one here, 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 and so on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is un. How to obtain delta n from un? Okay, we delete this one. We delete this by one time. What do we have? We delete by one time, we are going to have this one, this one, this one, this one, and so on, right? This one shift to here, this one shift to here. We don't have anything on the left. So this is un. This is delete version of un by only one time. Now can you see the difference? Can you see how to get this from here? Delta n equals un minus u n minus 1. Is that good? Yes or no? It's good, right? This is called the difference. UN equals this. Oh, sorry. Yeah, UN is this one. Yeah? And UN minus 1 equals this. And this one is nothing here. This is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. All the way to the right. And here. Use this one to minus this one minus this. See, this one cancel, 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 all cancel to the right. Only this one is left. And this one is only, so what we have is only this one, which is this one. Good? Okay. So from UN, we can use unit step a difference to find this. How about UN to be represented by this one? How to represent this with this one? I think you should be able to figure out how to get this from here.
Negative impulse minus U The negative impulse minus U and minus 1.
The negative impulse, you mean negative n here?
No, that's
Like this?
Yeah.
Then
Minus U and minus 1.
oh, we don't use u because we don't know u. We want to use the impulse only to represent u. I'll give you a hint. This is UN, right? We have infinite terms. What is the first term? What is this one? What is this one?
So 1.
Is this one equals this? So the first one equals this one, right? That's the first term. Good. Right? How about this term? Use this to represent this one.
It'd be impulse n minus 4.
Yes, perfect. That will be impulse n minus 1, right? So shift this one shifted to the right by 1 second, then that is this one. Make sense? Alright, then what's the next one? N minus 2. Then we have infinite. Right? But we don't want to write it like this. Instead we are going to write a summation. Right? And this one here, n minus k. Both n and k are integers. So k needs to start from 0. And the first term is 0, so that is delta n. This one. Then the second term is k equals 1. So that gives us this term. Then we have all the way up to infinity. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Questions? Alright. We can use the next representation similar to this is we can use the change of variables. Right? So for example, I use m to represent n minus k. Right? So this one will be the sum of delta m, right? Because I use m to represent n minus k. Make sense? Alright, so what is this one? This summation must be m. So m equals what? When k equals 0, m equals n, right? And when k equals infinity, m equals keep in mind, here n is just an integer. When k equals infinity, this integer minus infinity equals negative infinity, right? Okay. Right? So that also equals this. So now, So yeah, I can use M or I can use K. Doesn't matter. Right? In the textbook we use K. Yeah, we use M here. In here the summation is use K, so we can change this M into K. So this one here, I'll just change this variable, change this one into K. First one, I'll rewrite it. So this is M here, and this one equal to K equals sigma K delta K, and this one is N, this one is negative infinity. I prefer to write a small number on the bottom. So this one K from negative infinity and to N. Right? I just change the direction. Instead of sum from right to the left, I sum from the left to the right. So that's no big deal. So I just put this one on the bottom, this one on the, and change this M with the K. This is the summation variable, so it doesn't matter. You can change this M, K to any variable. Right? Any questions on this? Alright, the next one is the sampling. Represent any signal with the basic signal. Right? The next one is represent an arbiter xn with impulse n. We are given a sequence which is xn. Xn can be this, anyway. So for example, this one equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one equals just give you any sequence, Fibonacci sequence or any one. And I want to represent this xn with impulse, with a sequence of impulses. In this example here, how to represent this term with impulses? The impulse n, this one here, equals this one, right? Which only is here, but the amplitude here equals 1. But the real amplitude equals, what's the amplitude here? X0, right? So that one X0. So this is a constant. We know this. For example, for Fibonacci, X0 equals what? Equals 1. So that is 1 times this one. For the second term, this one will be impulse n minus 1, right? And we still need a coefficient. This coefficient will be x1. Again, in Fibonacci, what's this? Still 1. Yeah. Then the next term will be, anyone? What is this? Sigma delta what? n minus 2. What is in the front? X2, right? X2, right? Times this one. In Fibonacci, this one equals 2. 1, 1, 2, right? This one equals 2. Okay, ask somebody else, right? What is the next term? X3, good. Delta n minus 3, good. I can write this one all the way to tomorrow, so I don't want to do that. I want to summarize. So that one will be equals to the sum of k and xk times impulse n minus k for all k. No matter what, from negative infinity to positive infinity. So just it's good. That's straightforward, right? This is this method to represent. See, look here. This one, this un is a special xn. So you can see all the coefficients equal to 1. So that means make this one equals 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. See, this one equals this one. This is a special case over here. Similarly, we can use this method to represent this. Then it will be still the sum to k, and this one will be x n minus k and delta k. We can use either way to represent. Okay, next one we discuss sequence operation. The first one is called addition. That's very simple. If we are given two sequences, x1, and we are given another one, x2, then we just add up together. And so we have a new sequence which equals x1 n plus x2. Alright, let's have an example. Suppose this one here is just the Fibonacci sequence, right? And this one we use a unit step example. Example here. We write like this. Fibonacci here. This one is a unit step. Then what is y? What is yn? I can write all the numbers, or I can plot this. For example, if I plot n equals 0, n equals 1, 2, 3, 4, what is this value here? What's the first one? This sequence plus this sequence. When we add two sequences, we add the value at the same time. That is the rule. Right? So when n equals 0, we add x0, x1 0 plus x2 0. So suppose this one is a Fibonacci. This one equals unit step. So when n equals 0, this one equals f0 equals what? 1. un equals u0 equals 1. So what we have here is 2. What is this one? What is this? What is the output when n equals 1? You forget the Fibonacci sequence, right? This one equals 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on. This one you know that, right? This one equals 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So what is here? 1 plus 1 equals 2. What is here? This is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So the first one, when n equals 0, this 0 plus this 0, so equals 2. How about this? 2, still 2. Eh? How about when n equals 2?
4.
3, right? It's 3. So this one equals 3. Y equals 3. This one add to this. What's next? 4. Right? Like this. So you can plot like use graphs. But plot is not, that's good, right? Not good. So I'm going to write out. So what I write is I can just use a sequence like this. Right? Usually we start from 0. So this one is n equals 0. Next one is n equals 1, and so on. This representation only works for when n start from 0. If you have any value for n equals -9, you do not use this method. Right? Because this method means we start from n equals 0. Right? So the first one equals 2, the second one equals 2, the next one equals 3, the next one equals 4, and the next one equals 6, the next one equals 9, and so like this. So that is the sum of these two sequences. Does that make sense? All right. Next one is multiply by a constant. Like the output equals a constant A times the input sequence. That's not easy. So you just multiply by this constant to each of the values. Right? So for example, what is 3 Fibonacci sequence? Can you tell me what this one is? 1.
1, 2.
Times 3. 3, 3, 6. Just look at this. They multiply by 3 to each value, right? 3, 3, 6, 9, 15, 24, and so on. So that means multiply by constant means multiply this constant to each of the time. Add means you just add the corresponding time. Okay? Any questions on this? The next one is delay. Okay? For example, by delay by n0 time. So yn equals xn minus n sub 0. Alright, so let's see example yn equals un minus un minus 3. Can you draw this output? If I ask you to be here, can you draw the output? Right? So this is the delay, right? So first one, you imagine what this is. This was just delayed by 3 times, 3 seconds. It's good? You know how it is. You just unit step, then delay it to the right by 3 times. Okay, now we combine this one. We subtract. Subtract is a special case of addition. So add this one minus this. Can you imagine what we have? How many non-zero values we have? Alright, first one you do this. un minus 3.
Just 1, but it starts with 3.
Okay, so for this one, just 3 non-zero values, right? Can you imagine this in your head. Trying to do this, because you can draw on paper, but this one is simple. So in your head, you know how to do this, right? Okay, now I want you to represent this output with impulses. What's the first? Okay, let me help you see this. So this one is 0, 1, 2. Is this the output? Is this one the output of this? Yes or no? No?
That is impulse. But is there again representative?
So I said this one is the output of this one.
No, that's just too good.
Would UN be to the left?
Okay? UN will be like this. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, or like this. This is UN, right? UN minus 3.
It just starts at 3.
It will start from 3. Like this. Now this one minus this.
It's gonna be. Yeah, it's just gonna be.
Is this one get this? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, right? So this one is correct, right? This one is the output of this UN minus 3. Now we need to learn how to represent signals with basic signals. So that is, so this one, if I give you this, ask you to represent this with the basic signals, one way is to write as UN minus 3. Right? I also want you to represent this output with impulses instead of this. Don't use U anymore. Use other basics, which means like impulses. Represent this with impulses. What is the first one?
It's just gonna be delta.
Just delta N, right? This one is delta N. What is the second one?
Delta n minus 1.
Delta N minus 1. Yes or no?
Yep.
Yes or no? Yes? Okay. Plus, right? What's the last term? N minus 2. So you can see this is the original impulse. This is delayed version of impulse by only 1 second. This one is delayed by 2 seconds. And add up together, you get this and you get this. So what the point here is, if I give you arbitrary signal, we need to know how to represent it with basic systems, signals, right? Like impulses or good? Okay. Alright, next one we discuss Coleman sequence. First one is sinusoid. Now you imagine in continuous time, xt equals a times cosine omega t. Now this one is almost the same thing. So xn equals a times cosine omega 0 times n, then plus a initial phase. Omega 0 here is angular frequency. phi is the initial phase. So that is just the sinusoidal sequence in discrete time. Alright, next one, exponential. So exponential is A times alpha, which is a complex number, then times UN. You know UN, right? UN just all equals 1 for all time from 0 to any positive. So this is called the right-sided signal. It's only to the right. Right? A times alpha, which is a constant complex number, then raised to the power of n. Usually this A is also complex, so this way will be equals exponential is amplitude times e to the phi A. And alpha also equals amplitude and e to the, for example, j omega 0. Then this one, all this together will be equal to A amplitude times alpha amplitude, then e to the power of j phi A, then plus omega 0 times t. But we are going to write it into two sequence Euler's identity. We mentioned this, right? Euler's identity e to the j theta equals cosine theta plus j times sin theta. Euler's identity. This one is always equal to this. E to the j theta equals cosine theta plus j sin theta. And we will use this identity to here. So that gives us the real part is cosine omega 0. Sorry, this is not t. It's n in this group. N plus phi and un. So that is the real part. Then there's the imaginary part j, and the amplitude also equals a, and times alpha, then times this time with times sine function omega 0 n plus phi. And also U. So the point here is any exponential, complex exponential can be represented by two sinusoidal functions. This is sinusoidal function A cosine something. This one is something times cosine. That one is. And another one is a sine function, right? Sinusoidal function, but with a j. So this is real, this is imaginary. So we have actually any exponential sequence include two real sinusoidal sequences connected with a real part and imaginary part. All right. Next one we discuss periodic sequence. What is a periodic signal in continuous time? In continuous time is if xt equals xt plus a capital T for any time. If for any time this is true, then this signal is called a periodic signal, and capital T is called the period. Now this is the same thing, right? If n equals this n plus a capital N for any time for any n, if this is true, then this is a periodic sequence. Okay, so here, this is the difference between continuous times and discrete time. Example. First one, we consider continuous time. Xt equals cosine omega t. Is this a periodic signal? Is this periodic? Xt equals cosine omega t. Yes?
That's a cosine.
That's a cosine function. Is this a periodic signal?
You were gonna make it twice.
You have taken ET 111, right? Is this periodic signal?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a cosine, yeah, it's periodic.
It's a cosine omega t. That is a periodic signal, right? Right. So yes, that is it. Periodic. And what is the what is capital T? What is the period?
That's I don't even know.
What is the period? Is the period equals 2 pi?
yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's equals 2 pi. The reason is yes, because omega t equals cosine omega t equals cosine omega t plus 2 pi. No matter how you change time, this is always true because 2 pi is the period of a cosine function, cosine or sine function, right? So, question: is this always periodic? Yes, right? The period is equals to pi. No matter what, this is always periodic. No matter what frequency, what this omega is always periodic. Now we discuss another. This xn equals cosine omega 0 n. Is this periodic? We just write omega. So it's just like here, omega n. Is this periodic?
Yes.
First one, guess. Yes, that is yes, right? Okay, let's see if this one yes or no. Suppose, assume it. Yes, it is periodic. And the period is just capital N. With N as the period. You said yes, right? So we assume that yes. If it is periodic, what does that mean? That means xn will be equals to xn plus capital N for any small n. Just like in here, for any frequency, then this is always true. So that means here, cosine omega t is always equals cosine omega t plus 2 pi. No matter what frequency is, this is always true. So that's why it's called periodic signal. Yes? Right? So here, we assume this one is periodic, then this must be true. Alright, now let's see. This one, we said this one equals cosine omega n, right? This is this. And this one will be equals cosine omega what? N plus capital N, right? If this one is periodic, then this one is true. It must be equal. Alright, so let's write cosine omega n equals cosine omega n plus omega capital N. That means this is true, then that means this is true. What does that mean? Cosine something, omega n equals cosine omega n plus omega n. And we know here, this one is always true with the period of 2 pi. Can only be 2 pi. Cannot be anything else. This must be 2 pi. That means this omega capital N must be 0 or 2 pi or 4 pi is multiples of 2 pi. Make sense or not? If these two are equal, this thing must be, for example, equals 0. If this one equals 0, then yeah, that is true. Right? Or I said this one equals 2 pi. Is it good? Cosine x equals cosine x plus 2 pi. Yeah, that is true. Because we already know it from here. How about 4 pi? Eh? Yes, that is also true. How about negative 2 pi? Minus 2 pi. Right? That's also good. So anyway, this omega n must be multiples of 2 pi. So that means omega n must be equals 2 pi times an integer k. K can only be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 0, or 1, 2, 3. Does it make sense to you? Okay, let's see. What is your period? The period you said n, right? So what is n? N equals 2 pi over omega times k. That is your period. So we are done. This is a periodic, and the period equals this one. Is everybody happy with this result? Eh? It's good? So that is the period. Now let's see, is this really a period? The period, this is integer, integer, integer. So this n must be integer, right? This capital N must be integer. Cannot be like 1.1, 1.3 or something. Must be 1, 2, 3. So, example, if omega equal to 1, that is possible, right? Omega, the angular frequency, we choose 1. No big deal, right? So then n will be equal to, this equals 1. So 2 pi times k. What is pi? Pi is the irrational number. It's 3.1415926 or something. Then times 2. Then times the integer. And we want this n to be an integer. So what happened? Can we make this one integer? K is integer. 2 is integer. Pi is not. Can you make n integer? No, that's definitely not impossible. So this n is not a period. Because n is not an integer at all.
So you're telling me it's not buried, the whole thing is not buried.
Right. So
So if it didn't have the big n, it would have been a period.
yes. That means if I cosine n is not periodic, because here omega equals 1, right? So I said omega n, we assume this is periodic. So I choose one example, omega equal to 1. So that means cosine n. Cosine n, conclusion is that's not periodic. But the cosine t is always periodic. But this one is not. So that is the difference between continuous time and discrete time. So be careful on that. Don't think, oh, cosine, yeah, that is period. That is periodic. No, that's not. Everything good? No, next question. Can we make this cosine a periodic function? Right? So let's see, if I want to make this periodic, all these parts are the same, I just need to make this n an integer, right? So let's see. So if, that's the first one, second one. If a periodic, that means n is the integer, k is the integer. So this frequency must satisfy some special condition. So omega must be equals 2 pi over k over times k over n. So you can see your omega must be some k is the integer, n is the integer, and times 2 times pi. So this your frequency is limited, is limited to some special frequency. Your chosen frequency cannot be altered. So the conclusion is yes, sometimes cosine omega n is periodic, but it looks like most of the time it's not. Are you happy with this conclusion? No, I don't think we are happy with this conclusion. So are you happy? So theoretically, we proved that sometimes it is, if your omega equals this, k, n both can be arbitrary integers. And sometimes no. For example, if your omega equals not equal to this, then it's not periodic. So that is our theoretical proof. So are you happy with this? Can you give me, how can we explain this? For example, can you give me a figure that shows this one is not periodic? Looks like this same function, that's cosine function, is periodic. See, it's one cycle, another cycle. That's periodic. Why is that this one is not periodic sometimes? Okay, here. Remember at the very beginning, so this is discrete system, discrete signal, so it must be sampled. So you sample this, okay, so suppose I sample one as here, the next one is 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 here, everything looks so far so good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then the next one is here, 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 the next one is here. See, look, this looks periodic. This one equals this, equals this, equals that one. This one equals this, equals this, equals the next one, this one. So there's a period. The period equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if your frequency is not correct, means does not satisfy this condition, your sampling won't be like this. Instead, your sample will be, the first one, suppose you're here, the next one will be 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 here, the next one won't be at this point. Why? Because your frequency does not satisfy that condition. So the next point you will be here. Alright, and the next one here, 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 like this. So there's no way you can find this one always equal to this, because this one is not defined at this point. Now the question is, can you find one value that is at this point, at the top, at the peak? No. This one here, no, you cannot find anyone. So that means if you think this is periodic, then the period equals infinity. Actually means it's not a periodic signal. Does that make sense? If you choose this frequency, satisfy this condition, you will get this. Sampled at the peak. Maybe not necessarily at this adjacent peak. Maybe this one is here, the next one will be at this one. That's okay. But but it is periodic. You can always find one that is right on the peak. So that is one period, another period. The period can be small, can be like this, or can be large. That's fine. But you can always find one if your frequency satisfies this condition. But most probably, like you cannot. Then there's no way you find another one give you a period. Any question? So that example give us, if I ask you if a signal is periodic, you cannot just look at this and guess, yes, it is. No, it is not. Except you are very experienced, you can see it. Safe way is you just start from the definition, try to find out, to prove. If it is periodic, then what do you get? If you get a period that is possible, exists, then yes, it is periodic. If you cannot find that, then it's not periodic. If a signal is not periodic, we call it aperiodic. So we call this, so like A times cosine n, this is called aperiodic. Questions? More questions? Good? Next one, here we finish the discrete time signals. We have basic signals, represent basic signals with another basic signal, represent arbitrary signal with basic signals. Then maybe in the homework you need to try to use represent any signal with other arbitrary signal. That is possible. So, and also we discuss this typical operations: addition, multiply by sequence, a constant, time delay. And the next one, we are going to discuss some examples of discrete time systems. We will continue this. All right? We discussed these three so far. The next one is moving average. Moving average means, for example, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is n, and I have value here. I want to take the average of some data. For example, I want to average between 3 samples. So for this one, I can use so this is xn. So output will be equal to, for this one here, it will be the average of this, this, and this. So this one average, suppose this one equals, let me give them some numbers. So 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see this. This 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, suppose just some numbers. the output at t equals 0 will be equals to the average of the following three numbers. That is my definition. So this one will be equal to the average of these three. So what is it? 4, 6, 5. So 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So this one will be equals 5. The next one here, the output of this equals okay, now here's the key, the moving average. That means like I have a window, I choose this 3, then if my time move to this, the window will move, shifted to here. And so the average will be to this number, and this number. So that will be equal 6, 4, and 3. The sum. So that's 13. 13 divided by 3 equals 4.3 something. Right? Then what's the next one? Here, I ask somebody to tell me what's this. What is the output at this point? Moving average of 3. Anyone? 3, right? How you get 3? 4, 3, 2, add equals 9, then divide by 3, so equals 3. And this one? That one will be equals 3 plus 3 plus 2, which equals 8, divided by 3, so equals 2.7. So this is called moving average. This is called forward moving average because the average here we use the future values. Right? Now ask question: is this system causal?
You could tell here it was before, right?
Is this causal? Causal, what does that mean? When you calculate the output at this time, you need to use the input at the future time.
Yes.
This is not causal, right? For example, you want to process the data at here, you need to use the input at the future times. So this is not a causal system. Make sense? So what is the output when n equals 0? So y 0. That equals 1/3 of x0, which you know this at this time, then plus x1, which we don't know, that is in the future, then plus x2. So this one good, this one not, this one not. So this is not causal system. Okay? And I can also define, so this is 1, y1, how about y2? I want to define another. Maybe still a different average of 3. But I will use the neighbors before that, one after that, and also the current time. So for example, for 1, I will use the average of this one, plus this one, plus this one. This is 3. I can do that, right? Right? So this output here equals this, so equals 5. Right? And this output here will be equals 4.3. This output here will be equals 3. So when I calculate the output at this point, I will use this value, the one before that, the one after that, and the present time. So these 3 add up together, divided by 3 can give us a value here. What's the first one? Well, the first one is not defined, right? The first one is this one plus someone here. So you need to give me how are you going to treat this one. Or you can consider this one 0, or you can consider, okay, I don't do that because it's not defined. So that is up to you. Does that make sense? So this is called a center. This is in the future. This is called a center, right? Because this point is center. Or we can calculate the other way. I use the past. Right? So for example, the output here, I use the value at yesterday, the day before yesterday, and today. So this one again, I don't know. right? So I just put nothing here. Well, this one here, I still don't know. Although I know the value at yesterday, but I don't know the value at the day before yesterday. So, but this one is good. So this one here equals 5. This value here is calculated by this value, and this value. I have all these three, so the average equals 5. The next one will be 4.3. This one here will be equal to this, and this. So this is in part. Does it make sense? Okay, let me ask. All these systems has memory. Which system is memoryless, or which one is memoryless? Although we haven't discussed this concept yet, but you can figure out with what we learned for continuous time. Do we need memory?
In the first one, no.
When you calculate the output at this time, do you need the input other than this time? Yes, right? You need, in this case, you need the past time. This one you need this time, yesterday, and tomorrow. So you need to memorize all these numbers. This one, yes. So all these three systems have memory. That means if you want to implement this, you need to give it the memory to store all this data. You need a computer, you need memory to do this. Otherwise, they cannot do it. And if you want to implement this in continuous time, for example, you need to have a capacitor or inductor to at least some component that can memory something. Make sense? All right. Which one is causal? Do we have a causal system here? Right? First one, second one, third one. Do we even have any causal system? This one is causal, right? What does that causal mean? Causal means we calculate the output at this time. We need only the value at this time and the previous time. We don't need any input in the future. So this one we need the future. This one we need the future. This one we don't need. So this one is a causal system. Right? So this is called moving average. Any question on this? Next one is correspond to an integrator in continuous time. Right? In continuous time we use the integration, but here we call accumulator. Accumulator. This one, the output is just the sum of all the input. It's easy. All right, I'll give you a sequence here. The output at this time, you just accumulate all the past values. Just like integration. Can you imagine this? What this system?
Is that infinity or is that negative?
From negative infinity to the present time. Alright. Suppose this system is an accumulator. Now my input is an impulse. What is the output? Let's draw this. This one is just like this. 1. Right? Okay, let's see the output. When n equals to 0. Right? This one is 1, -1, -2, -1, 2, like all this. when n equal to 1, when n equal to 0, this is the sum of all the input from all the way back to 0. All these values back to 0. So what we have? All the input from 0 to the way back to negative infinity. So still 1 because all others equal to 0, right? So we got only 1. Does it make sense? Everybody see how to get this? How about when n equals 1? That means accumulate the input from 1 all the way to the back to negative infinity. Huh?
Should be just one.
Okay, this one plus this one plus this one plus this one plus all this. So equals what? 1. This one nothing, only this one. So still 1. How about at time equals 2? At this time, you add this to this to this to this to this to this. So what do you have is still this one. How about negative one?
0.
You add this value to this to this to this all the way. So you got nothing. And this one definitely 1. Right? So what is this? What is this output? This is the input, this is output. What is the output? Yes. Unit step. Yeah? Okay, so now you can see this accumulator of this one, we got unit step. In continuous time, this, what is this? In continuous time, this, we need to have this system, and we get a UT. What is this? Integrator. This is accumulator, integrator, they are the equivalent. The one is in continuous time, the other one is in discrete. In discrete time, we can just add, because we can do that. But this one is continuous, you cannot add, because you have infinite numbers in each. The time is continuous, so you can only do the integration. So they are same, right? Okay. Accumulator, right? Integrator, differentiator. What is differentiator in corresponding to this one? It's called the difference. This is the accumulator, difference, corresponding to continuous time, integrator, differentiator. So difference is, for example, we have three definitions. The first one is xn minus xn minus 1. Can you imagine this system?
Yeah, you should have over.
Right? Is this causal? Yes. Why? At this time, we need to only use the input at this time and this previous time. Right? So that's back. So we call this one backward difference. Right? This is the first one. The next one is called forward difference. Can you write it for me?
xn
xn
minus x
plus 1, right? You want the future minus xn. Is this causal? No, right? This one is in the future. You need to use the future time minus the present time. So this one is not causal. Right, we have another one. It's called C, central difference. Central difference means I use the future neighbor minus the past neighbor. So x n minus plus 1 minus n minus 1. Is this system CD causal?
Yes.
Central, no.
Central, no, right?
It's the diffuse.
Is this central CD causal? Because of this term or this term? This term? This term, right? This term is in the future. Right, so. Okay, we discussed this causal. It's very similar to continuous time. Stability. What is a stable system in continuous time? Anyone can tell me? If your input is bounded, then your output must be bounded. Then this is a causal system, right? All right. Is a differentiator is stable?
What's this integrator that's not stable, right?
Both differentiator and integrator are not stable, right? Differentiator, for example, if you have a unit step, definitely when t equal to 0, if you take the differentiation, you change from 0 to 1 in no time. So that differentiation gives us the slope. So the slope at that time equals infinity. We don't need any time, we change the value from 0 to 1. So that means the slope equals infinity. So actually the output equals delta t, which is infinity when t equal to 0. So that's not stable. Logarithmic is not stable. Log 0 equals infinity, negative infinity, right? And integrator is not stable. The reason is the output can be out of a bound if your time is long enough. You just accumulate everything. For example, constant 1, 1, 1, 1. You add 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. If you add 1,000, n equals 1,000, then your output equals 1,000. If you n equals 1 million, then it equals 1 million. So it can be any time. So the output will be unbounded if your time is large enough. We already discussed these several systems, so I don't think there's any problem for you to determine if this system is causal, is stable, right? Is difficult? From what we have done in the homework, number 1, I did see you have some problems with, for example, causal looks like no big deal. Stability also no big deal. But the linear, especially time invariant. So what we do here is, I don't want to teach here a lot of things because it's very similar to this one. Instead, I want you to study by yourself. I want to have a better way. What we want is you learn this something, not I tell you something, right? If I tell you something you still cannot understand, then that's nothing. So I want you to know this time invariant, linear. So what you need to do, the lecture notes is on the website, so you need to compare with the continuous time to study all these properties in discrete time. It's not very difficult, but you just give you a chance to review, try to understand all this concept. Is this good? But if you do have questions, then bring to class, we can discuss. I'm more than happy to discuss questions. Instead, I just blah, blah, blah here. Maybe you already know, or maybe if you don't know, I just passed. So I don't know that. So I want you to bring questions to class so we can discuss. So what you need to do is to study the linear property and the time invariant property for the discrete time system. Then next time we are going to discuss the output of LTI system for discrete. Then we are going to have what concept? I will ask you. So let's see if you are familiar with what we discussed before. After we discuss the output for linear time invariant continuous time system, we discuss an important concept, which is
Look at my notes.
we discuss the signals, then we discuss the systems, then we discuss properties, and we find the output for LTI system y equals xt relative to xt and ht, and we introduce a new concept which is called convolution. And then we studied how to do that convolution. And we also know when we should use convolution. So we know that's true how to do that, then why we want to use this. So we know how to use this and when to use that. So that is for all for continuous time. For the discrete time, it's almost the same as we said. So once you started the linear property, time invariant property, feel very comfortable about all these concepts, then next time we are going to discuss the output of LTI system. Then the concept, again, the same, convolution. But the good news is convolution in discrete time is much more easier or easier to imagine than continuous time. In continuous time, you need to do the integration and determine the lower bound, the upper bound, and the integrand, and do all these ones. It looks like not that simple. Or there are a lot of examples in the textbook. I suggest you to do this. Examples are also in the slide. We don't have the time to discuss every details here, but you need to read the lecture notes, read the textbook to understand this. But if you still have questions, bring the class, we discuss. That is very good. For discrete time, the convolution is much easier, but we are going to discuss next time. Okay, thank you, that's it.